Hello, how are you today? I've got a fun story from the Brothers Grimm called The Shoemaker and the Elves. The shoemaker was poor not because of anything he did. He was just poor, and he only had enough leather for one pair of shoes. So he cut the leather out, laid it on the table, and was going to prepare the shoes the next day. He went to bed, went upstairs, and he thanked God and asked God to help him. Next morning he woke up, said his prayers, went downstairs, and on the table, the shoes were there. They were all done, completed. He ran over, his eyes were big and wide, and he examined them. Every stitch was perfect. They were a masterpiece. He was amazed. How did it happen? And before he could think any more, a customer came in and wanted to buy the shoes and paid twice as much as the shoemaker had charged for them. And then he had enough money to buy leather to make 2 pairs of shoes. So he did the same thing. He prepared the shoes in the evening, and he was going to do the shoes in the morning when he got up. Same thing happened. Next morning he came downstairs. 2 pairs of shoes were beautifully done, just 2 more masterpiece shoes. The customers started coming in and wanting these shoes, and they paid more than he asked, and he had all this money to buy more leather. And then he had enough to make 4 pairs of shoes. And pretty soon he was making so much money, he and his wife were becoming very comfortable and almost wealthy people. So he said to his wife, "You know, whoever's helping us, wouldn't you like to know who's doing it?" His wife said, "Oh, yes, I would." So she said, "Okay, why don't we tonight at midnight, what we'll do is we'll come downstairs." And what they did, they went downstairs and they hid in the corner of the shop behind some clothes, and they had a candle, and they waited. Pretty soon, 2 little naked men came in, and they sat down at the work table, and they started making the shoes just like they'd done before. Masters at what they were doing. Well, they left, and then the next day the wife said to her husband, "These little men are helping us so much. I'm going to make them some clothes. I'm going to make them a jacket, some pants, a shirt, and socks." And she looked at her husband and said, "Can you make them shoes?" He said, "Sure, I can." So they did all this. So that night, after they had the clothes made, they laid them on the table. Next morning, the 2 little naked men came in to go to work at the table, and they saw these clothes. They were smiling, they were so excited, they started putting their pants on, the shirt, the jacket, and they started dancing and singing around the room, and pretty soon they danced and sang their way out of the shop, never to be seen again. We should thank the Brothers Grimm for this fun tale, and thank you.